You wake on frozen ground. No coat, no fire, nothing but a thin animal hide between you and death. Your breath turns to smoke the instant it leaves your lips. The cold is already inside your bones. A countdown is ticking in your head. 15 days until the great herd migrates south, and takes your only path to safety with it. 15 days, 15 chances to die, and every single one of them will try. Welcome to the Ice Age 20,000 years ago. The world is 6 degrees colder, and that is enough to bury half the planet under ice a mile thick. This is the last glacial maximum, the coldest moment of the last 100,000 years. Sea levels have dropped 400 feet. Whole new lands of frozen grass stretch to the horizon, a continent that no map will ever remember. They call it the Mammoth Steppe, the largest single ecosystem the Earth has ever known, and the deadliest. You are one small, soft, hairless animal standing in the middle of it. By every rule of nature, you should not last a week. But you are not just any animal. You are human, and that, it turns out, will make all the difference. Your first enemy is not a beast. It is the air itself. Out here, the cold can kill you in under an hour. Your body is a furnace burning at 98 degrees, and the wind is stealing that heat faster than you can make it. First your skin goes numb. Then your fingers stop obeying. Then, strangest of all, your mind goes quiet and calm. That calm is the danger. That is hypothermia, coaxing you to lie down in the snow and rest. Those who rest here do not wake. So you fight back the only way you can. You strip dry bark. You gather brittle moss. You spin a stick until it begins to smoke. Friction becomes heat. Heat becomes an ember. It is the oldest technology your species owns, and tonight it is everything. And when the first ember catches, that is not comfort. In this world, fire is life. Fire is a second sun you carry in your own 2 hands. Fire cooks your food and doubles the energy you pull from it. Fire keeps the hunters back. Fire is the reason your kind spread across a frozen world. You feed it bark and bone and dry dung, and you swear a silent oath. Whatever happens, this flame does not die. By the second day, hunger arrives, and hunger does not negotiate. The grass is buried under snow, so the giants must roam for miles to find it. Where they go, the meat goes with them. You crouch behind a drift and watch them. Woolly mammoths, 10 tons of muscle, hide, and curved ivory tusk. One of them could feed you for a month. One of them could also crush you into the snow without ever noticing. You cannot fight a mammoth and live. Not with a stone-tipped spear. Not alone. But early humans never hunted with strength. They hunted with the one weapon no other animal had: the mind. First they read the tracks. The wind, the age of the dung, the single weakest animal in the herd. Patience was the sharpest blade they owned. A hunt could take days of silent, freezing, motionless waiting. Then they moved together. Signals, not shouts. A dozen minds acting as one predator far larger than themselves. They drove mammoths toward cliffs and bogs, a single clever trap that could feed an entire tribe through the darkest month. And nothing was wasted. Meat to eat, fat to burn, hide to wear. Sinew for cord, ivory for tools, and the great curved bones themselves, to build the very shelters they slept inside. A house of mammoth bone could stand for years. Your ancestors did not just kill the giants. They lived inside them. By day 3, a quieter enemy arrives. Thirst. It seems impossible. You are surrounded by frozen water in every direction, and you can drink none of it. Every stream is locked in ice. Every pond is a solid gray stone. You crack the surface with your spear and find only more ice below. And here is the cruel trap. Eating snow to quench that thirst is a deadly mistake. Snow is mostly air and freezing cold. To melt it, your body spends the very heat that is keeping you alive. Eat enough snow, and you can chill yourself to death while feeling like you are drinking. the cold sets clever traps. So you melt it, slowly, over the same fire you fought so hard to keep alive. You fold a raw hide into a pouch, fill it with snow, and hang it close to the flame. Hide will not burn while there is water inside it. Drop by patient drop, the snow becomes water. Water becomes life. Every mouthful is earned. In a frozen world, water is not free. It must be thawed, one careful handful at a time. Night falls on day 4, and the darkness has eyes. You feed the fire higher, because beyond its circle of light, the Ice Age keeps its true monsters. Cave lions, larger than any lion alive today. Dire wolves hunting in silent, coordinated packs. And the short-faced bear, a nightmare that stood 12 feet tall on its hind legs and could outrun a horse. These were apex hunters, shaped by this world for 100,000 years. Faster, stronger, and hungrier than you will ever be. To them, you are not a rival. You are a slow, soft, easy meal that happened to wander into the dark. Here, you are not the hunter. You are the prey, and prey survives by never, ever being caught alone. So you climb, you hide, you put your back to stone and your fire between you and the eyes. You bang bone on bone. You shout. You make yourself sound like something too costly to fight. And you pray the fire holds. Because the moment it dies, the eyes will know, and the eyes will come. On day 5, the enemy comes from inside. A small cut on your hand turns hot, and red, and angry. It is nothing, a scratch from splitting bone. And in this age, nothing like this has killed more people than every predator combined. An infection with no medicine is a slow execution. First the swelling, then the fever, then the fog. You shiver by a fire that suddenly feels 1,000 miles away. Your own body has become the battlefield. There are no antibiotics here, no hospitals, no doctors. There is only what your people learned across 10,000 freezing years. You drag yourself to a bare thicket and strip the bark from a willow branch, the way the elders taught you. Willow bark. It holds salicin, the ancient chemical root of the aspirin in your medicine cabinet today. You chew it. Bitter, cold, foul. But slowly, the fever loosens its grip, and the pain steps back. You did not discover this. Someone before you did, and they remembered, and they told the story so you would live. This is the real secret of your kind. Not claws, not fangs, but memory, carried from one mind to the next. A wolf must learn everything alone in a single lifetime. A human is born already holding 1,000 lifetimes of knowledge. Then, on day 6, the sky itself turns against you. The horizon vanishes into a wall of white. A blizzard, not weather, but a weapon. Winds strong enough to freeze bare skin in a matter of minutes. The temperature crashes. Snow moves sideways. The world narrows until you cannot see your own outstretched hand. To stay above ground in this is to die. The wind will find every gap in your cloak and pull the life straight out of you. There is no fighting a storm this size. You cannot outrun it. You cannot wait it out in the open. You can only do what your ancestors did for 100,000 winters. You outsmart it. So you dig into the snow itself. It sounds like madness, burrowing into the very thing trying to kill you. But packed snow is full of trapped air, and trapped air does not move. Snow that buries you can also save you. A shelter carved into a drift can hold 20 degrees warmer inside than the killing cold without. You hollow out a low chamber, block the entrance with a snow plug, and poke a single small hole for breath. Inside, you wait. You breathe slow. You let the storm scream itself hoarse above your buried, glowing little room. The blizzard that would have killed you in the open becomes, with a little knowledge, the roof over your head. Day 7. The storm has passed, and the land it leaves behind is transformed, smoothed into a blank white desert. Your landmarks are gone, buried. Now you navigate the way your people always have, by the sky. The sun's low arc tells you south. At night, the fixed star tells you north. Direction is a kind of memory too. Day 8. You find the herd's trail again, a churned highway of trampled snow stretching toward the horizon. Where the mammoths break the snow, the walking is easier. So you follow the giants, letting them clear your path. You are not tracking them to hunt now. You are tracking them to live. Their road south is your road south. Day 9. Hunger returns, sharper than before. The mammoths are too many and too strong to risk alone. So you hunt smaller. Arctic hare, ptarmigan, a fox caught in a snare of twisted sinew you set the night before. Small meat keeps the fire in your belly. In the Ice Age, survival is rarely one great victory. It is 1,000 tiny ones. Day 10. You cross a frozen river, testing every step, listening for the crack that means the ice is thin. One wrong step into that black water and the cold would stop your heart before you could climb out. You go slow. You go careful. You live. Day 11. Exhaustion becomes its own predator. Your body is burning 6,000 calories a day just to stay warm. Every mile costs more than the last. You ration your strength like your last few scraps of dried meat. You talk to yourself now, out loud, in the empty white. It keeps the mind sharp. It keeps the calm, killing quiet away. Day 12. You shelter in a shallow cave and find you are not the first. Old charcoal. A scratched mark on the wall. Someone crossed here before you, seasons or centuries ago. And they left a fire ring, a gift across time, telling you, it can be done. You add your own mark beside theirs. Not vanity. A message. For whoever comes next, freezing and afraid, needing to know the way. Day 13. The land begins to tilt downward. The wind loses its edge. Far ahead, the white starts to break into gray and green. The valley is near. The migration route your whole journey has aimed at. But between you and it stands one last wall of ice. Day 14. You reach the pass, a narrow canyon of blue ice, the only gap in a mountain range of frozen stone. The herd has funneled through here for 1,000 generations. Their trail is a trench worn deep into the snow. But a pass like this is a trap as much as a door. Ice groans overhead. A single warm hour could bring the whole white ceiling down. You move fast and quiet, reading the ice, staying to the shadowed side where the cold holds it firm. Halfway through, the ground trembles. Not an avalanche, something worse. The rearguard of the herd, coming up behind you. 10 tons of mammoth in a corridor with no room to turn. You press yourself into a crevice and let the giants thunder past, close enough to touch. And then the pass opens, and you stumble out the far side into a wider, kinder world. You have crossed the spine of the ice. Dawn breaks on the 15th day, and the ground begins to tremble for the last time. The whole herd is moving now, the great migration you have chased for 2 weeks, pouring south through the opening land. Your window is here. Miss it, and the ice closes again for a year you will not survive. It is now or never. So you run, frozen, starving, scarred, but alive, and moving with the giants, one small figure in a river of fur and tusk. You keep them in sight. Where the mammoths break the snow, the path opens for you too, all the way down into the green. And then you crest a final ridge, and there it is. Thin threads of smoke rising from a distant human camp. Others, your people, fire and shelter and voices and the simple, staggering fact that you are not alone. You made it, 15 days across the roof of the frozen world, and you are still standing. Because survival in the Ice Age was never about being the strongest, or the fastest, or the fiercest. It was about being the smartest. About fire and memory, and the stubborn refusal of one small animal to lie down in the snow. The great beasts around you, the mammoth, the cave lion, the giant bear, every one of them would one day vanish from the earth. The world would warm, the ice would retreat, And the giants, unable to change fast enough, would fade into bone and legend. But not you. Your kind would inherit the thawing world, and build, and remember, and never stop moving south. Then, you blink. Warm light, a heated room, the roar of the wind is gone. It was only a story. But the story was written in your own DNA, long before you were born. The cold, the hunger, the fear, the 15 days that should have killed you. Somewhere deep in your body, the memory of all of it still lives. Every human alive today is descended from someone who survived that ice. Who read the tracks, and kept the fire, and remembered the way. They crossed a frozen world with nothing but a spear and a story, so that you could sit here, warm, and forget it was ever hard. You already won the hardest fight your species ever faced. You won it 20,000 years ago. You just forgot.